Okay, it's 9:06. Our 9:06 item is 6.1, public input. Does anyone in the chambers wish to give public input? You can come up to, right, Elaine Brown, got you. You can come up to the microphone and have 3 minutes.
Yes, I only have 3 minutes, so I would like to ask to be put on the agenda, the next agenda, if possible. And I'd like to cite 2 movies that kind of speak better than I do, and that is Gandhi. I will cite something in the brief message that I give, and also Ruby Bridges. People know who Gandhi is, but please watch the movie. It's very lengthy and it's very deep. Please watch Ruby Bridges. She's a little 6-year-old girl who in 1965 integrated the public schools in Louisiana, and she did it very bravely, and she did it with honor. And she did it in a way where both Gandhi and she were on the same page. So I really think they can express what I'd love to express better. I do want to speak on the homeless situation, and I do know that they're testing them to get into the homeless shelter, and that's something I'd like to address at the next meeting, what the testing is about and also what his masking is about. Also, Lake Pillsbury, I did speak to a lady up in that area. Lake Pillsbury is in Lake County, I believe, and they're wanting to drain it. Now, I'd like to hear, I don't know, I haven't done research on that, but I'd like to hear all sides on that issue. But we do have animals that will die, fish, we'll have people that don't have water, and I don't know the particulars, but I would like to speak and know more and have people come to the table there. And on the masking issue, I'm hearing that that's coming back about. And just briefly, I want to say, you know, I wear this around my neck, and it's actually to be put on a table, or I could wear it as a scarf, or I could clean a toilet with it and then use bleach and get it as white as snow again. And I could put it on my mouth like this, and a child would never see the smile on my face, and you would not see a smile on my face. And I'd be breathing in my own exhaust, which is very poisoning to my own system. And I leave with this. Would you rather see this as a child, or would you rather see this as a child? Thank you.
Okay, with public comment, because it's not agendized, we can't have a discussion, but I can point you to a couple of places. With the Lake Pillsbury issue, you can speak with Supervisor Crandall. It is in his district. I can assure you there's a lot of work happening in that space. So maybe it's just a matter of getting up to speed on what's going on. The warming shelter, we have an emergency and it's been pulled, so we're gonna have a discussion on that later. But you can speak with either Supervisor Spatier or Green or behavioral health in the back. And then there has been talk about masking mandates coming back, lockdowns coming back. There's no conversation about that happening here locally at the state or at the federal level. So I just want to clear that up. There seems to be some misinformation out about that. Okay. Any other public input? We're going to be bringing that back. We pulled that off the consent, and so we can talk about it.
It's my first time here, I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. So when we get to that, I'll let you know, okay? All right, thank you. Any other public comment on items that are not on the agenda? Not seeing anyone else in the Zoom or in the chambers, and I'm looking in the Zoom room and not seeing anybody. Yes. Supervisor Green?
Just for clarity, the PROC that got pulled is kind of limited in scope to the weather aspects of the shelter, and I assume possibly that some of the people wishing to comment may want to go outside the need of the weather. So
Okay,
I was
good point.
going to suggest if in fact our comments were going to go beyond the 4 corners of the emergency resolution as it pertains to the weather and the need for a shelter to discussions of operations at the shelter currently, public input might be the better way to do it.
Let me just read to you what 5.10 is. It's approve the continuation of the proclamation declaring a shelter crisis urgency due to the current need for sheltering for those experiencing homelessness during the weather and temperature patterns that Lake County has been experiencing. So if your comments fall within that, then we can speak then. If they are not within that, then you can give public comment now.
Okay, so if it's not due to the weather, I can.
Well, it's a shelter crisis urgency due to the current need for sheltering those experiencing homelessness during the weather and temperature patterns that the county of Lake has been experiencing.
I mean, we're here for fundraisers for the center, but not for the temperature.
Okay, then why don't you come up to, you can take turns coming up, and what you'll do is state your name, and you can have 3 minutes, but because this is public comment, it's not the time to have a dialogue back and forth.
Okay.
Okay, so come on up and give your statement.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Vanessa Grimley. I'm homeless. I was an addict. I still am an addict. If it wasn't for the homeless center, I would not be sober. I would not have a job. This is a documented signed letter by Nicole, who's the director. I can't pronounce her last name. But if it wasn't for her today, my restraining order against my mother would have been is now dropped. I can now see my daughter. I have a job. I'm sober. I need that place open. They've helped me. If it wasn't for me, I'd be dead. If it wasn't for them, I'd be dead. I'd probably OD'd already. Me and my dog have a place to lay our head at night, to park our car so it won't get towed. Now I can see my daughter. And I'm on the righteous path to sobriety. I need them, please. They've helped me so much since May. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello, I'm Vicki Jeffers. I stay at the warming shelter. It has afforded me a place to lay my head at night with my dog. And I would really encourage anybody who has any questions about the shelter in any way to ask us people that stay there to find out what's really going on. And the staff there has been wonderful. They treat us like family. We all have issues. And I became homeless because of a natural disaster, and my insurance wouldn't pay for it. So I'm homeless at 65. And I never thought I would be in this position, but I don't want to sleep in my car anymore. And I want my dog when the new people take over. And I heard they're going to take over and put us out on Christmas Eve. And that really upsets me. Why Christmas Eve? It's hard enough for us. I'm trying to find a house. I've been looking. I saved money. Then my car got stolen. And it's just been crazy. But I'm happy. I really am mostly happy. But I want my dog, and I want the shelter. And I want anything bad that has been said about the staff that is currently there. You guys need to know they're good people. They have really gone the extra mile for us. And we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have anyone else?
I just feel I need to comment on that. There is conversations on what a transition might look like, but nothing has also been approved yet of the next iteration of the shelter. So to have heard that there's a rumor of December 25th, I would say is an absolutely false rumor, and that there is no facts attached to that. Until this board approves that contract, there's no setup or transition that can be put in stone. So there's the possibility of a transition around that timeline, but again, the specifics of how that transition works out, those conversations aren't happening.
Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Michael Wilkinson. I'm here on behalf of the shelter. You know, I became homeless once, and they came to my rescue. And I feel that they need, to be honest with you, they need support from you guys for food. The food is unacceptable, and I wish we could maybe work a way, maybe they could get some funding for food for the shelter, and that's why I'm here to try to help them get adequate meals that they need, and this place needs to stay open. The staff they're unbelievable. They're strong, they're smart, they just need a little help. And that's kind of why I came here today, just maybe to ask, maybe you guys can figure a way to maybe help them with at least better food. You know, I understand it is a financial it is financially, but maybe we can work something out between y'all. And I came here to say that because that place needs to stay open, and it needs to be, they need food. And that's why I came here to tell you, because you need a roof over your head and food in your mouth. That's what my mom always taught me. So I ask, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do we have anyone else over here?
Yes, I'd like to speak to this, and I think there's a misunderstanding about the.
Can you give your name again?
Oh, yeah, Elaine Brown.
Thank you.
You know, I was homeless for about 2.5 weeks in my car because I had a dog, and I didn't want to give up my dog. And there's a lot more options if you have your dog, and I'd rather be in my car than have my dog. So we're on the same page. There was a misunderstanding, well, maybe not a misunderstanding.
Can you please speak to us?
A worker at the, saying that I blew up at her, and I have a witness, I did not blow up. But she was telling me that she's having to buy things out of her own pocket. And then when I countered her on why isn't that being taken out of the funding given, then she said, no, the funding was taking place. I did not blow up at her, which has been said. I'm a teacher. I knew she was lying because another worker who I highly honor there, who is doing a great job, and I didn't know her, told me that he was buying food, bread out of his own pocket. That's a problem. I'm on the same table. I'd like to sit across the table and work this out because I was there. And now there's someone else that was in charge when I was there, and I could only stay 2 hours because the floor was sticky. It was trash on the floor.
This is
My husband was a correctional officer for San Quentin, and it was far better at San Quentin when I walked in the halls of San Quentin than it was there. And I couldn't stay there for more than 2 hours for the trauma that just being in that room had in the bedroom, not in the common area. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any further public comment at this time? Then we'll close public comment and we will move on